It never fails. Every time Phil Spencer does an interview, he's usually transparent. Sometimes he might talk a little too much, but every single time Phil Spencer does an interview, it seems like there's always one quote from their interview that PlayStation fanboys will run with and twist it and make it fit their narratives. Every single time. It happens every single time. Now, Kind of Funny Games did a great interview with Phil Spencer where he talked about Redfall. He talked about the future of Xbox. But there's one specific part of that interview I want to discuss, because this is the part that PlayStation fanboys are running with and saying Phil Spencer is pathetic. Hell, some Xbox guys are upset because they said Phil Spencer is too soft. Is he quitting on Xbox? Is he just giving up? Let's discuss this. In a surprising new interview, Xbox boss Phil Spencer basically admits that Microsoft can't directly compete with PlayStation and says that great games don't necessarily win the console race. Now, let's talk about this, guys, because what Phil Spencer said was they're not going to out-console PlayStation. They're not going to out-console Nintendo, meaning he doesn't expect them to sell more consoles than those two platforms. Should Phil Spencer have said that? Probably not, because you know how people in this industry is going to twist it and make it seem like he's quitting, when that's definitely not what he's doing. Xbox knew all the way back in 2016. Even Paris Lilly mentioned this in the interview with Kind of Funny Games. He mentioned that Xbox focus has been different all the way back then. They knew they needed to do things a little different way than PlayStation and Nintendo was doing. PlayStation and Nintendo has been doing things the traditional way as of right now. I do think in the future PlayStation will change their plans a little bit. We're already starting to see some of their games on PC. But Xbox knew they had to do things a little differently. Now, let me say this. Remember the Nintendo GameCube? The Nintendo GameCube was a Nintendo console that was pretty much just as powerful as the PS2 and the Xbox, the original Xbox. Now, the little cartridges, the little small CDs they had didn't hold as much memory, but the console itself was just as powerful as the Xbox and the PS2. But what happened? That was the last traditional console Nintendo made. They figured all the way back then that they could not compete with Xbox and PlayStation the traditional way. So what did they do? They created the Nintendo Wii. Took off. They went into their own lanes. And to this day, they still haven't made a traditional console to compete with Xbox and PlayStation. But no, nobody's questions Nintendo's strategy. It's all about Xbox. Because Xbox figures that, you know what? We're going to try to make people come to our ecosystem. It's not about necessarily selling consoles. Because I've said this forever. As much as an Xbot as I am, I have admitted that PlayStation will outsell Xbox worldwide. The only place Xbox has a chance to beat PlayStation is in North America. But that's definitely not worldwide. So Xbox knows this. Phil Spencer knows this. And if they want to reach 3 billion gamers, they're not going to do that strictly through console sales. It's simple as that. Now, like I said, PlayStation fanboys, they're loving this. They're obviously twisting what he said. They're saying Phil Spencer is fucking pathetic. Things of that nature. They're going to talk that shit because, believe me, when Jim Ryan was crying about ABK and saying the PlayStation can't recover from ABK being owned by Microsoft, we were talking shit. So it's all fair in the console war. But what Phil Spencer said, when he said the part about exclusives, he pretty much said exclusive games won't necessarily make people switch ecosystems. That's how I took what he said. He said making great exclusive titles for Xbox would not necessarily make a PlayStation fan go to the store and get an Xbox. Let me explain. I am an Xbox fan. I have invested thousands of dollars into the Xbox ecosystem over the years. I have a PlayStation 5. I like some of PlayStation exclusives. So when a PlayStation exclusive drops, I buy it. I play it, and then I go right back to my Xbox. So if there's a Xbox game that a PlayStation fan wants to play, they might play it on the PC. If they actually buy a console, they will buy the game to play. They will buy the console to play the game, but they're going back to the PlayStation. Most people will not drop their favorite platform and completely go to another platform fully. Meaning, yes, they'll play a game or two there, like here and there, but they will not stop what they're doing. Now, we've seen in the past, exclusives, yes, they're very important, but do exclusives really sell the most consoles? Yes, you would definitely get some people buying the PlayStation for Spiderman, but you also get people buying the PlayStation for Call of Duty, for 2K, for Madden. Exclusives are very important, don't get me wrong. But guys, the exclusives help the Wii U? Did exclusives help the GameCube? Did exclusives help the Sega Dreamcast? How about the N64? Those are consoles that had great exclusives, but yet and still, those consoles got their ass whooped because the casuals chose the PS2. The casuals chose the PS1, or whatever console the casuals chose that generation. So Phil Spencer saying making great games is something they're going to do, right? With the exception of Redfall, it's something they're going to do, but making great games would not make a person completely drop their PlayStation and move to the Xbox ecosystem. That's all Phil Spencer was saying. I know people gonna twist it and make it seem awful, and that's okay. That's how this console war works. But if you just sit back and listen to what the guy said, have an open mind, you will realize what he's saying. He's not saying Xbox is not going to make any quality games. Phil Spencer seems to be very, very anxious to show off Hellblade 2, to show off Avowed. He said, we've seen these games. I played these games. These games are looking great, and the future is still looking great. Yes, Redfall was a stumble. Absolutely. And he admitted so, and he said it's on him. And, listen, brother, I don't know if Jim Ryan will admit that shit, but Jim Ryan don't even talk to the damn media, let alone do interviews like that. So, listen, I enjoyed the interview. I appreciate Phil Spencer's transparency. You can tell he was cranky. He was upset. He was pissed off because Redfall really, really dropped the ball as far as the review scores. I think the game is okay. I've been playing it. I'm still playing it. I can definitely finish this game because it's good enough for me to finish, but it's not Arcane's best. It's not their best effort, and it is what it is. So moving forward, every time Phil Spencer does an interview, shit like this is going to happen. Every time. Don't forget, guys. So look, at the end of the day, Xbox will make great games. They still have a bright future. PlayStation has a bright future. This is going to be a lot of fun. But it's been a bad week for Xbox, guys. Let's be honest. It's been a bad week. But if Xbox comes out next month, they have a great showcase. Starfield is good. Forza Motorsport is good. And they drop Hellblade 2 in 2023. I think people will move on from the Redfall fiasco and just enjoy and continue to enjoy Xbox. But look, guys, it's time for me to get up out of here. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you happen to stumble across my channel and you think I'm decent enough, why don't you go ahead and subscribe? And if you subscribe, please hit that notification bell to know when my black ass is doing some new content, baby. All right, everybody. Peace and love. Peace and love. Shit. Damn, man.